Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Lion's Den Investments and Reviews. My name is Casey. In today's video, I want to talk about the technical analysis for where we're at with Bitcoin and Ethereum. And then I also wanted to talk about the underlying use case inside of Ethereum right now, why that is so critical as far as like looking for valuations when it comes to investing in these markets, okay? Because I'm gonna point out to you some of the trends that I'm seeing right now in the Ethereum blockchain when it comes to like smart contracts and shed some light for you on where the value is actually coming from when it comes to Ethereum. So getting started here, guys. Right now, Bitcoin is right there again near an all-time high. We have a psychological barrier here at about $50,000 on Bitcoin, and it really got me thinking. As an investor, uh, what is the top for Bitcoin? Are we done with this bull market right now? Let me know your thoughts on that. Leave a comment in the comments section, and let me know what you think as far as like, are we done with this bull run in Bitcoin? Because you know, guys, basically I'm fearless right now, and let me explain why when it comes to Bitcoin. Now, what I'm going to tell you here is from a guy by the name of Raoul Pal. All right, he's a hedge fund owner, and he studies the macroeconomics for supply and demand, specifically on Bitcoin. And what he was saying was that there's about 650 Bitcoin that are mined per day right now. And what you've got essentially on a macroeconomic supply and demand side is that you've got companies like PayPal, Square, and Grayscale Trust, for instance, who are buying into Bitcoin right now. And um, those companies alone are going to be buying up those 650 Bitcoin every day, just like that. Okay, so your demand is extremely high, and there's not enough supply of Bitcoin to go around. Not to mention you got institutions and retail investors coming in at the same time buying Bitcoin. So um, trying to get into Bitcoin right now, I mean, literally there's no supply and 100% demand. So even if Bitcoin goes down, say short term, that's going to be short lived, and Bitcoin goes up. Okay, so when you see Bitcoin go down, another thing to remember is that you got a lot of leveraged traders out there. Okay, and what they're doing is they're getting stopped out due to their short sell positions. So if there's any Bitcoin that is available, it's because these people are getting stopped out on stop losses from their short positions, and no one else is selling their Bitcoin. So where do you think Bitcoin's headed? For me, that's extremely bullish. If you think so, just hit the like button. Okay, let me know if you guys are bullish on what I just told you there. So that's Bitcoin. We could retrace here on the technical analysis and come down to about like 45,000. I'm watching that pretty closely because if we break 45,000, we could very easily come down to around um, 40,000. But that's where Bitcoin is right now. So look for that support right there around like 45,000, and then down here around 40,000. Okay, because we could retest those levels and pull back a little bit. But just know that if we do, it's because of these short sellers. Okay, the supply, again from the supply and demand perspective, there's not enough supply to go around. So Bitcoin long term, I would say we're going much higher than 50,000. All right. Switching gears here, though, I want to go into Ethereum because Ethereum, if we take a look at Ethereum, guys, I was talking about price suppression, uh, you know, basically the big boys trying to delay the inevitable, which is Ethereum going much higher than where we're at. Okay, we're just kind of sitting here right now at all-time new highs around 1819, $1,819. But from a technical perspective, okay, like the more I learn about Ethereum and the programming involved on the back end of it, the more I'm more bullish on Ethereum, and Just recently, Mark Cuban came out and was talking about. Let's go up to the article here, the headline. He predicts blockchain is the new internet. All right, and I've been saying that as well. And what I'm gonna do is play you a video here, just quick, like 3 or 4 minute clip of what he has to say about it, because he's basically saying the same stuff that I've been saying. I don't know if he's watching my channel or somebody else's, but let's listen to what he has to say here.
It's a really good newsletter. I appreciate it.
Awesome. That's so great to hear. Mark has made waves recently in DeFi. He's been tweeting about using Aave and buying and selling NFTs. So that's really cool to hear. And I'm really excited to talk about all that stuff with him. But first, let's go back in time a bit and just tell me about your crypto journey. Like, what first got you interested in crypto and Bitcoin? And what was kind of your first reaction to this?
So I'll go back to the beginning. When Coinbase first came out, I like to play with technology. I'm a tech geek and have been for a long time. And so I tried it. Some people sent me some Bitcoin because it was dirt cheap back then and wanted me to see it. But the conversation back then was mostly about it becoming a currency. And that's why they're called cryptocurrency, which is really a misnomer, right? Because very few of them, if any of them, are actually currencies. And so as somebody who had written software.
So let me stop right there real quick because he's talking about Bitcoin being used as a currency. Um, Guys, Bitcoin is way too slow when it comes to the transaction speeds to be a currency that replaces, say, the U.S. dollar or something like that. The block size on Bitcoin is only at like 2 MB. Okay, so that's extremely a low amount of data that can be held inside the block when it comes to the transactions that are being held inside the block. And because of that, your amount of transactions that are being done in Bitcoin, uh, the miners can confirm those transactions, but being that it's 2 megabytes, your blocks get backed up. Okay, so it's like the analogy I like to use is like shoving a potato down a garden hose, and because of that, Bitcoin's too slow. So you got to look at some of these other projects, and this is why he's going to start talking about Ethereum here.
Software, and I did a lot with distributed databases. My very first company, we were a systems integrator, so I would write, multi-user applications, distributed applications, and then I sold my company to CompuServe, which had a worldwide network that Visa was on, and I did a lot of business with Lotus Notes, which had replication servers, and so I really had an understanding, not the as much as some people, but what I felt was a strong understanding on distributed databases and decentralized databases, and so I was all in on blockchain. But like any other new programming language or platform or anything, there was a long ways to go before blockchain was really going to be ubiquitous. But even
So he's talking about the programming language, right? And what he's going to start getting into here is talking about Ethereum with the Solidity programming language. And that brings me to another piece here I just want to bring up real quick before we finish the video, which is Ethereum. All right, so this image was something that they gave us in the Ethereum development course that I'm in right now for boot camp. And what he's talking about is programming languages being used on the front end of websites. Okay, specifically Web3.js, which is JavaScript, and basically what you've got is your node right over here, all right, in this big triangle, and that node would be from like a developer, right, who's setting up and trying to program and get a front end website to talk to the blockchain and Ethereum. So you've got your virtual machines, okay, which are basically supercomputers, and the programmers writing JavaScript, Java, Python, C++, stuff like that, they're writing these smart contracts, and those smart contracts are triggering, they're targeted towards these virtual machines. And then the virtual machine triggers the functions, and then you get user case functionality on the back end. But everything has to it has to be user friendly through a website. Okay, and Web3.js does that. Um, so, just in a nutshell, that's kind of what that is, what he's kind of explaining. Uh, High level overview here.
Back in the beginning, I remember getting into arguments with people at South by Southwest back then. I was all in on blockchain, but the argument on Bitcoin in particular was always it was going to be a currency. And over the next 5 years, I was certainly a naysayer. And to this day, I'm not a believer that Bitcoin will become a currency. And most Bitcoiners aren't even saying it's a currency anymore. And when they had the split in 2017, that kind of confirmed, right? You're not going to do it. And, I've listened to all the talk about Lightning over the years and how that was going to change everything. And, it just hasn't. So, long story short, what really started to change was even after 2017 and the big price movements over the last year or so, you've seen people only maybe 2 years only start to refer to Bitcoin as a store of value. Nobody's really talking up the whole currency thing any longer. At the Dallas Mavericks, we started taking Bitcoin for tickets and other purchases back in, I think, 2015. And I think ever since then, we've sold maybe $300 worth. People just don't want, and I did it because I wanted to see if people would actually use it as a currency. And, back then, some people tried. You had people going across the country trying to live off of Bitcoin and all that. But now people are like, no, I'm not going to spend my Bitcoin as a currency. I want to see it appreciate. So what really
See, he's even confirming what I'm saying about the supply and demand of Bitcoin right now, and nobody wanting to let go of it. So that's just confirmation right there.
changed was, one, watching people change their mind about it being a currency and start recognizing that it's only a store of value, and two, starting to see the maturation of blockchain apps, particularly on Ethereum, and then three, this past summer, watching DeFi go nuts. So for me, DeFi really was okay. Now blockchain in particular is really starting to mature. You're starting to see applications that are really coming into play.
All right, we'll stop it right there because basically he's just reiterating he's reiterating what I've been already saying on my channel about you know uh, Ethereum and decentralized finance basically being the future of business, and then he's just confirming it for you. But he says down here, get smart with Ethereum. Um, you know, he says smart contracts are real and they remind me of the early days of the internet. Okay, with just HTML and some basic JavaScript, you could do a whole lot of business. So back to that picture or image that I was telling you about here. That's he's absolutely right. Okay, and I would go as far as saying that Ethereum, like what Cuban is saying, kind of reminds me of internet, the birth of the internet. Except this is the internet 2.0, because you can go in and revamp all these websites on the front end that are in HTML and JavaScript, and you can get them talking to the blockchain for corporate use case functionality. And that brings me to the next article here, which is Coinbase. Coinbase Ventures Paradigm invests 12 million in synthetics decentralized finance platform. Okay, so you're getting a lot more of this in decentralized finance. You remember what I told you in previous videos? We've got about $562 trillion. Either five, might be 652 trillion. I'd have to go back and look again, but it's somewhere around there of money on global markets being used for decentralized, or not decentralized finance, but it's being used for the derivatives market. And decentralized finance offers a way to provide liquidity, okay, for that entire market, built on platforms like synthetics here. Okay, I know Compound is another one, and Uni, for instance, Uniswap. All those platforms are built on the Ethereum blockchain, so they use Solidity programming and smart contracts. Okay, so you see where this is going, um, and that's why I keep saying Ethereum is massively undervalued for where it should be, and where the trend is going with Ethereum. So that's why I'm so such a big fan of Ethereum, and I'm excited to see where it goes, especially because I'm learning how to build my own blockchain, create my own tokens, um, implement Web3.js to start talking to the front end of a website, that kind of stuff. These are, you know, guys, when it comes to skill sets, these are things that, if you're not learning right now, you basically have the opportunity that the guys had back during the dot-com bubble and before that, who were learning how to build websites when the internet first came about. Like, this is a once in a lifetime type opportunity. So, if you're interested in learning about crypto, you can go to my website, www.academyofcrypto.com, and I show you like how to first get started investing in cryptos. But I'll be adding to that and scaling it as we go through the bull run for more information on how blockchains work and that sort of stuff. And you can just tune into the channel here by subscribing to learn more as well, because I'm constantly putting out new content that revolves around blockchain, just because that's where the future of money is going. All right. I'll leave a link in the description below for this so you can read it. I'm not going to waste your time with that. But last article I want to cover is this one here on 6 billion USDC stablecoin lands on Stellar blockchain. Okay, I don't know if anybody's invested in Stellar XLM, but I mean, that's big news too for Stellar, because what you've got taking place right now, all right, are these global cross-border payment systems like the Ripple XRP Ledger and XLM that are going to be used for stablecoins to act as a bridge, so that you can do international trade and global trade with other currencies, and you can remove the old system or old companies, right, who facilitated those kind of transactions, say like Western Union, which brings your fees way down when it comes to doing, business overseas. So it'll bring the cost way down. But I'll leave a link for this in the description as well. But guys, that's really all I have for this video. I just wanted to cover that for today's video, because I've been talking to a lot of people, and people close to me, and people at work and stuff like that. And I'm telling everybody, I'm like, guys, get ready. Ethereum is the future of the internet. Okay, and as this trend increases, you're going to start seeing more and more of that. Bitcoin, as far as Bitcoin, if you think the bull run is over, I'm going to tell you from just a supply and demand perspective, Bitcoin is going higher than 50 grand. Okay, it's just getting warmed up. It's just getting started. So if we do get a correction, or if we go into, say, like a bear market, the only reason why that would happen is if you had like a worst case type scenario. And I've already got my exit strategy in place for that. So you might want to, consider it, because Bitcoin can come down. I mean, it can go back into a bear market, but the chances of that actually happening are going to be, and at this point, I would say they're like less than 10%. And if they do happen, you can liquidate, your bags into a stable coin like this, which is 1-for-1 with the US dollar, so that you're not, losing all your money. But, that's, again, the odds of that happening are going to be extremely low. So I wouldn't worry about that too much. But I just want to throw that out there for you as somewhat of an exit strategy, or a way to kind of hedge yourself, just in case something like that were to happen. As for Bitcoin, though, I'm just watching it right now, because we got all sorts of major support levels right now on Bitcoin, and we gotta fall through those first, and in order to go into like a bear market, we would have to fall below like 28, 29,000. So I just don't see that happening long term. But you know, as I said before, just watch the markets, start learning this stuff. You can learn how to read the charts as well. Just go to my website, academyofcrypto.com. I teach you how to set all this up so that you can start looking at charts and seeing the bigger picture from a technical perspective, while you follow my channel or subscribe, because I cover a lot of the fundamentals too. And like I was saying earlier, I went over the the macroeconomics for supply and demand on Bitcoin, so you can get a better picture fundamentally where we are with Bitcoin in this bull run. But with that said, guys, hit the subscribe button. Subscribe to the channel. It helps with the the YouTube algorithm. Hit the like button as well, and then let me know. Are you guys bullish or bearish? You know, are you going to be a lion or are you going to be a sheep as we go through this bull run? Are you going to acquire more skill sets or are you just going to sit there and let them pass you by? Because right now you got the largest transfer of wealth in the human history taking place, and the largest opportunity to acquire new skill sets and transition into this new system. So let me know your thoughts on that, guys. With that said, I will be shooting another video here soon. And just remember, no matter what happens here with price discovery and this bull run, fear nothing, my friends. Till next time.